Now we're going to talk about tuples. A tuple is a collection which is ordered and unchangeable. In Python, tuples are written with round brackets. The tuples have two properties. You cannot change the value in the tuple, and you cannot remove the items in the tuple. So let's create a file called tuples.py. Let's create our first tuple. It's going to be fruits. So we created a tuple with fruits inside of it, apple, orange, and kiwi. Now we're going to try some of the tricks that we did with the list. So let's try and change the value inside of a tuple. And then we're going to try and print the tuple. It gives us an error. Tuple object does not support item assignment. You can also turn values into a tuple by using the tuple function. So if you want to create, let's say, fruits 2, you can call it the tuple function. And inside the tuple function, you can put in the fruits you want. So this right here is also a tuple. Print type to check the type. So fruits 2. So we're going to type. It's considered a tuple, as you can see here. If you want to get the length of a tuple, you simply have to use the same thing as the list, len, and then you type in your tuple. And that's going to give you the length of your tuple. This is a way to create a tuple without brackets. This right here is considered a tuple. So let's print its type. It's a tuple. And just like list, tuple can also be nested or can be in a matrix. So you can have one tuple with two tuples inside of it. So let's call this matrix tuple. So one curly bracket inside of it, two curly brackets, and then you can put your values inside of it. And this is also considered a tuple. It's a tuple that has tuples inside of it. So it can be accessed the same way we access a matrix inside of a list. You can also create an empty tuple. This here is an empty tuple. Let's print the empty tuple and see what it gives you. There you go. It's an empty tuple. You can also have a tuple with a single value inside of it. So a single tuple. But if you want it to be a tuple, you gotta have a little comma right after it so it doesn't turn into a variable. So now let's print its type. So it's also considered a tuple. So if you want to swap one data to another variable, you can actually use tuples. Let's give you guys an example. So this is data 1 equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Data 2 equals 6, 7, 8, 9. So now we're going to use tuple to swap data 1, data 2, data 2, and data 1. So now let's print data 1 and data 2. So data 1, 6, 7, 8, 9 is now the same thing as data 2. And data 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the same thing as data 1. So you can use a tuple to swap data from one side to another.